Anime appeals to a wide variety of different fantasies. Today, let's focus on the wholesome stuff. Welcome back to OtakuDaiKun. Dai-chan here. I'm sure most of you have seen this clip before.
I wrote a blog post a while ago about why I f***ing hate video games, because this is what it does. It appeals to like the male fantasy.
This is BuzzFeed feminist Claudia Restrepo commenting on a club scene from Grand Theft Auto. In response to an exotic dancer, she states how she hates video games for appealing to a male fantasy. Since its release, Claudia's statement has been memed into the ground, with people juxtaposing it with other video game clips that completely contradict her. It's absurdist humor that does a great job of conveying an important message. Games don't just cater to a male fantasy, they cater to fantasies, period. That means there's something out there for everyone to enjoy. If you play a game that appeals to a wide audience, you're probably going to find parts about that game that you don't care for, but someone else does. If you look hard enough, though, you're bound to find a game that matches your preferences, and that's the beauty of having so many different kinds of games. Turns out, the exact same thing is true for anime. A lot of mainstream popular anime are being attacked for catering to men, forgetting the fact that the biggest and longest series tend to be shonen. That said, anime isn't a genre, it's an art form, and there are so many anime out there that there truly is something for everyone. So yeah, maybe you don't like hot chicks, fan service, or intense violence. Guess what? There's an anime for you. Tons of them, in fact. Thus, for today's video, I want to shine a spotlight on 10 anime that I feel are truly wholesome, catering to a type of fantasy you couldn't possibly condemn as inappropriate or misogynistic. Let's start off with the anime that prompted me to make this video, Shikimori's Not Just a Cutie. When I think of the generic male fantasy, I tend to picture some tough, stoic, powerful guy who scores with a submissive, supportive, maidenly woman. Shikimori breaks that stereotype by featuring a very vulnerable protagonist. Yu Izumi is a poor dude cursed with bad luck. He falls down a lot, loses things when he needs them most, and gets injured by all manner of freak accidents. This prevents him from excelling in typically masculine things. To compensate, he's one of the sweetest, most considerate boys in school, earning the affection of his girlfriend Shikimori. She's the perfect girlfriend for him, as she excels at the things he doesn't. She's athletic, competitive, and all-around reliable, often saving Izumi from getting hurt. The role reversal is quite charming, and it makes me think that perhaps the dreaded male fantasy here isn't to be all macho and confident, but rather to be accepted and loved for who you are, by a partner who fills the void in your life. Seriously, watch this anime. It's adorable! Next up, we have Sweetness and Lightning, the story of a single father learning to cook yummy meals for his energetic daughter, Tsumugi. This dad, Kohei Inuzuka, is often too busy with his job as a teacher to provide anything more than pre-made meals from the convenience store. He finds out one of his students, Kotori, has a small family-run restaurant, and so they all team up to expand their culinary knowledge. Tsumugi is always just overflowing with emotion, and it's heartwarming to see her dad try so hard to give her the best life possible. There's a wholesome found family aspect here as well, with Kotori being a big sister of sorts. By now, My Neighbor Totoro probably doesn't need much of an introduction. It's one of the most iconic films from Hayao Miyazaki, centered around a family that moves to the countryside. Mei and Satsuki Kusakabe experience moving into a new home while their sick mother is bedridden at the hospital. With their dad hard at work, the two sisters need to acclimate to change, and are helped along by the friendly yet mysterious creature Totoro. Even at its darkest times, this film is relatively upbeat and packed to the top with whimsical fantasy. This anime inspired me as a child before I even understood what anime was. A bit of a sleeper hit last year was Shiroi Suna no Aquatope, or the Aquatope on White Sand. It tells the story of Fuuka Miyazawa, a former idol who feels she's failed in her career. On a whim, she travels to a small town in Okinawa, where she becomes friends with Kukuru Misakino, the acting director of Gama Gama Aquarium. While it is a beloved landmark of the town, Gama Gama is in need of expensive repairs, and if Kukuru can't get attendance up, she'll be forced to shut down. Fuuka, who has given up on her dream, dedicates herself to helping Kukuru with hers, and the two girls make a bright future for themselves come what may. Not only is this anime wholesome as fuck, but it's also absolutely gorgeous, with really strong production values and spectacular lighting. Originally, She and Her Cat was a short film created by the now renowned Makoto Shinkai. Since then, it has been expanded upon into a brief 4-episode series. It details the relationship between a woman and her cat Daru, told from Daru's perspective. Despite there being a boundary in communication, there's a beautiful connection between the two of them when their vastly different worlds overlap. If you want something a bit more comedic, this spot could also be filled by Chi's Sweet Home, a much longer series about a Genki kitty causing mischief. We're not done with cats, though. Number 6 on our list goes to Nakitai Watashi wa Neko wo Kaburu, localized as A Whisker Away. It's a lovely movie about a high school girl, Mio, who struggles to gain the attention of her crush, Kento. With the help of a magical pact, Mio is transformed into a cat, who Kento immediately adores. Drama ensues when Mio is forced to either remain as a cat or risk it all to reveal her true identity. It's terribly sweet, but also filled with adventure, giving it a bit of a Miyazaki vibe. One movie that really caught me by surprise was Words Bubble Up Like Soda Pop. It's a love story between two teens, Cherry and Smile, as they search for a lost vinyl record for Mr. Fujiyama, who wishes to hear his late wife singing once more. Cherry is autistic, avoiding the world with a pair of noise-canceling headphones. Smile, on the other hand, is a cute web streamer who is self-conscious about her front teeth. The two help each other overcome their insecurities in a colorful, stylistic tale. Again, is it so wrong to fantasize about finding someone who will love and accept you for who you are? We're not always on the hunt for oppai and pantsu, though there's nothing about those that can't also be wholesome in their own right. Number 8 on our list is Amanchu. I previously made a review of this show on the channel, but Amanchu is a peaceful slice-of-life anime about a shy girl named Futaba moving to a new town. She becomes friends with the extroverted Hikari, who happens to be a fanatic for scuba diving. While much of this series focuses on Futaba gaining the confidence and skills to join the diving club, its main feature is the wholesome friendship between her and Hikari. It's equal parts silly and sweet. Kimi ni Todoke, From Me to You, is perhaps one of the most cherished romance anime out there. It stars Sawako Kuronuma, a high schooler who bears a striking resemblance to Sadako from the Ring films. This, paired with her social awkwardness, keeps her from making friends. On the other hand, she envies her classmate Shota, who happens to be quite popular. Romance sparks between the two of them, as Shota tries to help Sawako come out of her shell and express her feelings more directly. As far as the romance goes, it's a slow burn, but it's done artfully enough that I'd recommend it. Before I reveal the number 10 spot, I want to list some honorable mentions that I consider to be really wholesome, but have risque elements that I could see people taking issue with. Usagi Drop is another anime about a man and his daughter. Daikishi Kawachi adopts his grandfather's illegitimate daughter, Rin, and their journey together is truly beautiful. The reason it's an honorable mention is because the manga it's based on continues the story so that Rin, as she grows up, starts to form romantic feelings for Daikichi. Despite his best efforts, she never truly acknowledged him as a father, and later sees him as a romantic partner. That development complicates things, to say the least. Chobits is another honorable mention. Narratively speaking, Chobits is a lovely romance between Hideki Motosuwa and his personal computer, Chi. Given this is a property by Clamp, the female-dominated manga studio behind Cardcaptor Sakura and Tsubasa, there's a lot of shoujo aesthetic and cuteness. It's also rather lewd in that Chi is found half-naked, and Hideki has to awaken her by flipping a switch between her legs. That said, I met a little girl at an anime convention who loved the show dearly, so I honestly think it's a matter of perspective. The last honorable mention happens to be Spy X Family, and it's all thanks to the adorable Anya Forger. Despite her adoptive parents being both a spy and assassin respectively, Anya is treated with great care and affection, making their found family as wholesome as any other. It's hard to take such a claim seriously, given the premise and violent antics, but the show's comedy helps focus on Anya's innocent charm. The credits sequence highlights this wonderfully. Now, last but not least, the number 10 spot in this list goes to Happy Sugar Life! With a show named like this, of course it'd wind up being a sickeningly sweet story about two girls who fall in love. Yeah, right. No, seriously, the number 10 spot actually goes to, you guessed it, today's menu for the Emiya family. Obviously, this is a Fate spin-off series, so you'd expect some bias out of me, but I don't think that necessarily retracts from how pleasant and calming the show is. Almost all of the participants from the 5th Holy Grail War, who were once at each other's throats, are now allowed to live peacefully in Fuyuki. Ignoring all the cruel brutality of the main story, this spin-off liberates the characters from that gruesome war. Instead, they all hang out in the city, gathering together to make delicious food at Shiro's place. It goes without saying that my favorite part of it is Artoria being a gluttonous cutie. Whether you're reading the manga, watching the anime, or playing the video game, Emiya family is a delight to behold. So, there you have it, 10 officially wholesome anime and more for you guys to enjoy. Again, the reason I do this is to show how there's an anime for everyone if you look hard enough. There are plenty of fantasies outside of the typical mold, so don't let anyone try to funnel all of this artistic process into a single demographic. For discussion, I want to ask you all to list the broader fantasies that you have for anime. Specifically, I'm looking for things that defy the harmful assumptions people make about anime. I look forward to reading your recommendations in the comments below.
Thanks for watching!
If you enjoy this channel, help us grow by liking, commenting, sharing the video, subscribing to OtakuDaiKun, and
most of all, smashing that notification bell so you don't miss out on all of our anime discussion, lore, or Let's Play content.
You can support us directly through Patreon, Subscribestar, or our YouTube membership, all of which come with benefits like exclusive vids and early access.
As always,
celebrate your fandom!
Hey guys, I want to go ahead and give a special shout out to all my $10 and up supporters. Video Gamer 75, C. James Torley, Stephen Elak, Samuel Gersten, Otaku Mom, Jens Bauman, Mystic Samurai 1983, Freebrick, Cosmonaut, RNG Shuffles 1498, Alexis Yukio Gomez Yamato, Johnny Tsunami, Link Pendrago, Logan Pasquale, Caitlin P, Vladimir Rovna, Succubus Sakura, Normace, and SF Giants fan Mike. Thank you all so much.